There we go. Hey, we're live! Everybody, welcome to Call to Action Breakdown. We are breaking down the Star Wars match. Firstly, I'm your host today, Dylan Camacho. Today with me, the real Alex Mack. Kelsey is in the house, but also, most importantly, we have Ace Cabrera in the house, everybody. Andres.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course. Thank you again for having me on. This is my second time on here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're with us for an episode of Chill to Action with
Yes.
Danielle and Dylan. Danielle, by the way, she wants us to let you know she was like cheering up and down. She had a whole thing about, she was like, no, my boys, Ace, Swag Squad, Drip, everyone, he's going to go through this. And we were like, okay, let's see how it goes. But she was like confidence all the way. So she's very sad she can't be here today.
Yep.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I love you guys. I think you guys are amazing, honestly. All of you guys. Alex, I think this is my first time with you. Same with you as well, Camacho, everything. So Kelsey, I know, but you guys have such a big team, man.
We do.
Our team, it feels like we get 7 new members every time you ask us, but it hasn't changed. We've just stayed double digits the entire time. So
there's a lot of people that do things behind the scenes. That's so just to clarify.
But still, you guys are killing it, though.
Thank you. It is a well-oiled machine, but it takes a lot of work to keep it oiled. I'll put it that way. So. But enough talking about us, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We're about to be going into the Ace versus Andrew Dimelanta match. If this is the first time you're watching it, man, this is going to be an experience. There's spoilers. There's all sorts of spoilers we're watching. Ace may have any indication of him being here, may have a slight idea of how that result goes. But you know what? If you're tuning in and not seeing the match first, maybe you should watch the match first and then come back. But I'm stalling. Let's get this match pulled up. I want to watch these sweet promos, and then I want to start breaking it down bit by bit with the whole game here. Sound good, guys?
Sounds good to me.
All right, let me pull this on up, and all right, let's go. Write that in.
And you want to see it? Well, great. Here you go.
Oh, wait, there's a little bit of an echo. That's an intense echo right there.
Oh my God, I got it.
Give me a little bit more time.
There it is. Okay.
Learn. It's my first time in the ring, so if I get a second chance, I feel like I can improve. So I want to improve, and I want to face off against somebody.
How did you feel when you saw this for the first time, Ace?
So I was trying really hard not to focus on it because I was still in my match prep mode. But I was so curious what Nerd Chronic was doing, so I definitely wanted to check it out.
Did you see this before it went on, or did you see this for the first time through this?
No, so I actually, when this was going on, I took my headphones off because I wanted to be in that mode of just prepped for the match. But then I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, oh my God.
All right.
Always come true.
It's pretty magical how these promos are just as good as always, if not better, and yet half the footage is StreamYard type footage. It's not like in match walking up kind of footage. Yeah, it's still got intensity.
Yeah. It's literally me in front of my camera.
Isn't that literally 99% of videos though and promos? Just someone in front of a camera.
Yeah, but I only have one entrance for him to pull from, and he always pulls from it. And it's the one entrance where I had a terrible performance. So
Schmoedown Star Wars history. Now on this Rocky-esque journey, I thought Cabrera was going to beat him. I was sure Laura Kelly was going to beat him, and now here he is finding himself in the finals. That's a pretty incredible journey, Jim.
So here we are in the finals, and again, everybody seems to be down to me.
For almost a year now, all I've had to hear was, is he good enough to win in this division? I've had to work and grind for everything I've gotten in this division, and I still don't get the credit that I feel that I should get.
I do agree with Andrew. I feel like he's not being talked about enough as well as a Star Wars competitor. Like, I think you're amazing. Your record is spectacular. You know, also with Andrew, he deserves so much more recognition than he gets right now.
For sure. I mean, obviously, I've reached out to him and I've told him the same. I think the guy's incredible. So, throughout the tournament, he killed it. He was the scariest player in there.
Look, that's a nice team here.
Yeah, it was very scary. Like I knew he was gonna go to the finals between whoever on your side of the bracket, and like just by the knowing from what like talking to Gucci and stuff, like his hunger is just like off the charts.
Yeah,
so I knew he was. I just had faith he was gonna get there.
Take this challenge seriously. You're giving up, Ty. You're young. Let's continue the hunt.
This is literally what competition is made of. This is what sports are made of. This is the stuff that
Oh,
inspires.
I love Winston so much.
Winston at the end of that match, man.
That's my favorite part of the match is Winston's face.
Yeah.
There's scrap till this is over.
The expression on his face. Like, that's so great.
Now, are you more as a competitor before you were drafted? Were you more excited about Star Wars or IG?
And if you think you're gonna win, well, when I got told about Star Wars, I got really excited for it, but I was always mentally going in for IG. Yeah.
So good. So good.
I know, I'm just absorbed in the promo again. Like, that's my problem. I'm just like,
this is I'm having a mood.
Right. To be fair. That's right, Jake. I see you in chat.
Yeah, I guess that promo was all right.
Okay. Does anyone know where Big's Dark Lighter is from? I don't know. I know he changes his name like every match
That's
now.
A New Hope. Yeah.
New Hope. Okay.
There you go.
That's Luke's friend, his buddy from Tatooine, who becomes a X-wing pilot at the end of the movie.
Of course. Obviously.
Yeah, he's Red 3. Big Starklighter is his name. He's the guy with the mustache.
The managers have given a lot.
I'll take your word for it.
I think we should probably.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Hey, Dean Morgan, everybody. Hey, everybody in chat. Just want to say hi, everybody. Wave, hello. Yeah, man. I swear, you sit there and you see that promo, and I'm going to go back on the Winston moment just for a second, because if you're not sold on Winston as a manager, seeing how much passion and stuff, regardless of how much behind the scenes is or isn't going on, man, he is so stoked to see Ace win.
I love the Tommy Versace stuff because, like, he was on with the last episode of the Finstock Exchange podcast. I got to be on it too. It was like that, and so I was listening while I was getting ready to be on, and him coming on as Tommy. It was so funny.
Was Winston really on? Really?
Yeah, he came on as Tommy Versace.
No
got in
way.
an argument with them about like how he's Gucci from an alternate universe, and
I love that.
It was so funny. So then when I saw him pop up that way, I just cracked up.
That's so cool. Yeah, obviously I've known Tom for a long time, actually, since I joined Schmoes. So I know all about his character. I know all about Finstock. I used to help him with his little bits backstage with the Schmoes No Show back in the day. So I love Tom.
There ain't gonna be a glass.
No, that was not me. But I do remember the mask quite a bit because he would always bring it, and it was always like a big deal. And Winston I just met, so it's kind of funny. I've known Tom longer than Winston. But as soon as I met Winston, I was like, I'm in it. Let's do it. Yeah.
Of the Finstock Exchange.
So
how much does this mean to you?
Like he says it also later in the match, but definitely you guys feel like a family. Like you could feel the chemistry between all of you guys in your faction, and that I think that's pretty awesome. You guys definitely belong together.
Oh yeah, every single one of our faction teammates are all incredible. I mean, Paul, Lon, Chandru, obviously RB3, but all those guys, especially those guys, I know quite a bit. I've met Paul now in person, and he's such a nice guy, such a genuine, smart, really smart kid. So I love those guys, and obviously Lon. We used to do our Game of Thrones Casterly Talk show with Ken. So shout out to Casterly Talk and Game of Thrones. If there's ever a Game of Thrones Schmoedown, count me in.
I gotta say, I'm not gonna lie, it's I got into like, I don't want to say a heated debate, but there was definitely quite a bit of back and forth. I don't think it was a Call Live episode. It was something else. I think maybe it was like something with in the generals chat or something. But I was like going to town on why Winston should be at this time totally manager of the year over Gucci. To me, Winston, I mean, like I feel like he has had a lot bigger hill to climb versus Gucci. Obviously, you know, I'm not counting the fact that he already has champions like built into his faction already, and I'm really kind of basing a lot of his success on a lot of the competitors he ended up drafting later. But Winston,
the same way that when I learned
he didn't have anything.
Yeah.
A lot of like not only like rookies like yourself, maybe there are a lot of gambles as far as draft picks go. We didn't really know anything about other than us being genuinely excited. So not only that, he's a rookie manager as well.
Shout out from Eric Lane. Shout out to my Phoenix brother. Their success, the commitment shows. Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, man.
Crushing it, dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really do I mean, obviously I might be slightly biased considering he's my manager, but I would 100% put him as manager of the year, considering like what you said, he's had a different array of people to help improve, right? I mean, he has what could be the Inner Geekdom champion in Chandru. I mean, depending on how that match goes, that's already a huge deal besides even what I've done. So I 100% think he should be manager of the year.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that one, and I think the sentiment is when you look at the roster at first glance, a lot of people were like, I mean, yeah, you've got some good players, but to take the players that he has as far as he has, I think that's the bigger difference. We're looking at Gucci, and a lot of these guys have already tried and true dudes, but we're looking, and Barbarian Andrew aside, of course. Andrew had proven himself, I think, before even he got to Gucci. But we're looking at the whole roster, and we feel like we've seen a drastic improvement on every single player in there. That's talent.
Yeah, and I still feel there's more to come. Like, I really do feel Paul is going to kill that singles tournament. I think Liz Shannon Miller is going to go super far in that singles tournament. So I think there's even more to come. And again, Chandru, I've trained with Chandru. I know what he can do. So I really do feel like he's going to pull out that IG belt.
I do think that a good manager not only should be dictated by how many points the faction as a whole walks away with and how many wins as a whole, but also I also kind of take in consideration just how much growth with each competitor takes place. Like I said with you, this is your first year that you're a rookie, and going so far in so little time obviously is like a huge massive achievement within Schmoedown, but also a manager's ability just to work with rookies no matter the genre and be able to kind of coach appropriately is very important.
Ace, did you have a match before this year started? I feel like you did, right? Because you're not technically considered a rookie for this year.
I'm telling you guys, I've been asked this so many times. I consider myself to be a rookie. I guess technically I'm not, considering I did have a match. I just thought that was like a fun little throwaway match, considering it was a handicap 3 versus 2. It was me, Cody, and Copster versus Dan Merle and Mark Riley.
Right.
And it was literally like, I thought it was more like a sacrifice. We were being sacrificed to this Schmoedown gods, being fed to Riley and Dan Merle, and they can devour our souls. I think that was the point of the match. Yeah. So that's why I was like, does that count?
Because it puts the rookie contention like kind of in this frustrating place, because otherwise I think everybody's been saying Goddard or Parker as like rookie of the year competitors, Barbarian as well. But if you're looking at this as your rookie year, it's like, you put yourself right in that runnings, dude. I don't see why you wouldn't be, but I don't know. It depends.
Again, I don't know how rules work, so I don't know if I would be automatically disqualified for that. But yeah, I mean, I would love to join that conversation. Any conversation. I'm honored to just be a part of that. So, because I know they have an IG/Star Wars one. They just combine it, right?
Yeah.
So there's not separate IG versus Star Wars.
And I would say by the looks of it, that's going to be the big determining factor there anyway. Star Wars IG, that's you, Robert Parker, Barbarian's performances, even in that. I think all of those performances are going to be the big crux for rookie of the year as far as that goes.
Come in here and play for fun.
Yeah, I'm super curious how that's going to go, especially the rest of the year, because again, we have singles tournament and all that kind of stuff coming up. So it's not over yet. I can't just, be happy on my success and settle and say that I already won, because there's a lot of competitors still coming up. So.
Yeah, recency bias definitely is a thing with voting too. Like the biggest new event kind of leads the voters at the end of the year sometimes. So guess we'll have to kind of see what happens at the end of the year. Be a big factor as well.
Yeah, for sure. And again, my thing too is I was in the play-in though.
Right.
I don't think I was even considered to be a threat to anyone, which I think is something to be taken account for.
I think it makes the best story for you to, like, if you take it all the way to the belt, you're hard pressed for me to tell anybody that Ace is rookie.
Let's just take a moment to just appreciate this like Inception moment right now.
Yeah. I know, it's weird, right? I'm just about to see myself. I don't know if I can handle it.
Is there ever like, do you feel like you have to dance into that scene with the music already in it? Like,
I did it a few times. Yeah, I feel like I kind of have to. I mean, it's hard not to be fair. The song's great. It's a great song.
It's all the songs were done by David B, right?
Not all of them.
No, most of them. A lot of them.
A lot of them, but I don't think all of them.
I know Christian said the other day on Schmoebates that the David B, he did one of his favorite anthems, which was the Quirky Mercs one. He says it's just so perfect for their faction, and so it's one of his favorites.
I love Quirky Mercs. I think they're amazing.
Ace.
I can't lie. Yeah, this is weird.
I love that you're even kind of wearing the same thing, only a different colored.
I'm wearing a Star Trek shirt right now.
Black.
Oh, I mean, it's still black.
Right.
Like we can
Yes.
see the top part. The hair is the same. The background is the same. Only difference is literally that button-down shirt.
Wait, can we? At some point, I want to pause it perfectly and then have Ace just reenact Ace on screen and just try to think people are freezing up the stream. But in reality, it's just Ace.
Yeah. I know. It's because I like black. For anyone who doesn't know, I usually just wear all black. So.
It's the majority of my wardrobe too. It's always a go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely really weird. Look at that.
I know you said you. If we can pause for a second, I think this is like just kind of dive in. But, now going into this match, obviously the hype was real. This whole Cinderella story was crazy. And you broke so many brackets, obviously. So I'm surprised you're not called Ace the Bracket Breaker, Cabrera, but let's make that happen, guys. Tweet it out. Where was your mind at? I know you said you were trying to focus and be the right mindset, but how are you feeling, the day of and like the minutes leading up to this moment?
Nervous. I was feeling like I had a lot more pressure on me now that I was in the finals. And now that some people were like, oh, okay, I'm going to root for him now. So now I was like, oh, crap. Now there's people rooting for me. Because with Laura Kelly, I felt like I wanted to win so bad. It's not like I changed my attitude towards it. But there's definitely a different like attitude as far as like I want to win so I can prove something and that I can, beat Laura Kelly versus the final. It's more like I have a 50-50 shot. I'm in the final. So I have to carry this weight of like my faction, my team, anyone who's rooting for me, that kind of attitude. So yeah, it's just a lot of pressure. Obviously I'm sure Andrew can echo everything I just said. You could feel the whole tournament on your shoulders.
I can't imagine, honestly. I can't play. I can't throw a ball. I can't run fast or like jump a single foot in the air. And I've never worked well part of like athletic teams. And so, so hypothetically, I can imagine, but I personally can't imagine.
It helps. So. Yeah, being a former athlete actually helps quite a bit. My God. I was a former competitive swimmer, a pretty high competitive swimmer, actually. Funny enough, shout out to old school Schmoedown competitor, Cody Miller.
Oh my
I
gosh.
used to train with some of his friends.
Wow.
Because he's an Olympic gold medalist. I'm not an Olympic gold medalist, but I did get up to like Division 1 level swimming. Which is hyper intense. So I knew when I met Cody, I was like, Cody, do you know this guy? Do you know this guy? I know everyone you train with because I grew up with him. I trained with him. And him and I bonded on that because we were both, obviously he's a swimmer and I was a former hyper competitive swimmer.
Right.
But that kind of feeling the pressure and feeling like everything is up to this moment and that visualization of like, I can do this, I can win. Helps in the Schmoedown. And I didn't think it would help, but my God, does it help.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was kind of curious on myself with like the psychology going in. It's so different with the faction stuff. And I don't know, I feel like some players are more likely to perform worse because they feel like they have all the added pressure of a faction, not just yourself. But I wonder if that pushed you to the next level or like forced you to say, I'm not just doing it for me. Let's take it to 12, 15.
Yeah, I mean, every match, I think I said it, every match, I was doing it for my faction. Like, I really did want to help them. I wanted to lift them up, and I wanted to make sure we got points and make sure we had a chance to try and win this whole thing.
Yeah, I do know it's, well, Christian and Alice and obviously so many people within Schmoedown, and reactors and everything included, we talk about competitors going into Schmoedown. It is a sport. It's drafted as a sport. The way competitors talk about it, think about it, how we react to it, it is a sport in every sense of the way. Maybe not a traditional sport, physically speaking, but, especially how competitors go into it mentally, it can be so stressful. It can be so physically, mentally, exhausting as well, between wins and losses, how taxing it can be on you. So you definitely got to have the right frame of mind for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel Cushing made a post today that I was tagged in. I don't know if you guys saw that, but she kind of nailed it on the head where she said, it's just at a different level now. So all that hours and studying, it really does feel like, my God, this better get me a victory because otherwise I feel like I wasted my time. So yeah, there is a lot of pressure that you put on yourself when it comes to making sure you're ready and making sure all that work you put in is going to pay off, which again, you measure with victories. But again, like she said, it's not necessarily the only way to measure a victory. I think every single competitor in this entire tournament is incredible. So
yeah, not kidding. Oh, Dylan, we had a donation. If you want to read it in the private chat, that's where I was posting them. So
gotcha. I will go snag that real quick while I'm looking for that one. I'll go ahead and pick up. I got Eric Lane's. I see another one on here, but I see that in the private chat. So let's see if I can pull this. So PC says, drip, drip, so happy for you, Ace. Also, as KK says, they have merch. Buy a shirt today. And that's right.
We've got merch.
Yeah.
We got merch.
We've got merch.
Yeah. Oh, we did also just got another one from D-Train. Who's saying, congrats, Ace. Thank you for giving us someone to root for during this time. You are 2007 New York Giants. Here's hoping the virus ends by December so the spectacular can be a live event.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We still don't know what's going to happen with that, considering how everything is so completely shut down. Obviously, everyone would kind of prefer it to be live. I would prefer it to be live. I think it'd be more fun. Obviously, I would feel the pressure of being on a stage and all that. But again, it's just a different element to competing. But I think the live atmosphere inside a Star Wars final is just, I've seen the live events and it's always so exciting to me.
Yeah. Would that make you more nervous or less nervous to compete in front of a crowd? Just going up against Damon, who's obviously very comfortable competing on a championship matches in front of a crowd. I mean, he's never been defeated in a live event like Merle. So do you feel like you do well in front of like an audience, or some people kind of thrive under that and some people don't? So how do you think you would feel?
I think the competition aspect would be different for me. However, I do have a musical theater background. So I am very, very, very comfortable being on stage. That's actually where I feel at home. I did musical theater for like 13, 14 years of my life. So I love the stage in general. But the competition atmosphere of it is a whole different thing than the performing of it. So I don't know. I think it'd be fun. I would try to make it as fun as I can. So
yeah, I would definitely be excited to see that. Not to mention, I would love like a very musical Star Wars musical themed entrance. You know,
yes,
like, can we make that happen?
You're gonna see my dance moves. Yes.
Oh my
all
gosh.
happening.
It could be like MC Chris in the background, cruising on Cispa and my DeLorean.
Yeah.
Oh god, I can only think of Zack and Mary whenever I hear that song.
I love that song. It's so good. I love. Also, I love that movie. That's actually one of low key one of my favorites. The Kevin Smith movies. That's a guilty pleasure. I love it. Sorry, kind of got on track though. I apologize.
No worries.
Without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and pick back up on the match, and then we'll start doing some more breakdown stuff with all the dance musical stuff background. Ace has opinions on Hamilton. If you got $5 more donations, he'll tell you all about it at the end of the video.
Oh yeah, 100%. I have opinions on it. Considering that everyone was watching it while I was watching the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, and they were like, "Do you want to do Hamilton video?" And I was like, bro, no, I can't.
It's real, man.
Yeah. So
it might be crazy to think I actually watched Hamilton before Ace did in that moment, but everybody's just on Disney Plus, so it's all about dollars to them, man.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're getting sidetracked, but I would love to see so many different musicals come in that same environment, in that same like release structure. I think it'd be so cool. Like, can we get a Hadestown? I would love to see Beetlejuice get picked up by somebody. I know that already got canceled, but I would love to see like a streaming version of it, or many other musicals, for crying out loud. There's so many that would be so cool to watch the way they did it for Disney Plus.
I'm really surprised they haven't, because I have seen streaming services that are like focused on musicals and things like that, but a lot of them it would be like 1989's Les Mis, or it would be like Cats the movie from like that was recorded and released in the 90s and stuff like that. So it's not the same quality, and it's not like so there's not a lot of newer musicals. Like there's not going to be Beetlejuice or anything like that, unfortunately. And Beetlejuice, considering its vibrancies and its weird, gorgeous set design and production. You need everything, you know.
Right.
You need some really good camera people to get in there, man.
Well, and it brings up a different question when it comes to COVID, right? With the idea of having now, like, are we going to see a live show at all for who knows how long? When it comes to musical theater, like it might be a year and a half before we see another live show. Why not release it on streaming and give people opportunities to say, hey, I might not be in the theater environment, but at least I can watch it at home.
Exactly.
I think it does a lot whenever the world does get a chance to come back, that, you know, you build that audience already, that hunger's going to be there if you put that stuff out there. But enough musical dance.
Yeah, I was going to say.
We're right here.
All right, here we go.
What do you guys think of this little teaser thing that they just did? Like, let's get ready to Schmoedown.
It looks good.
They've been doing that. Yeah, they've been doing that for a little bit. It's so cool.
I love that. Yeah. Ooh.
Christian, I've been working on my
So shout out to Chandru for this one. I mean, I knew the answer, but Chandru is so good at giving me questions as far as like fill in the blank. These quotes, like what word was used in this quote, because they do that a lot in the Schmoedown.
Yeah.
So he gave me like a drill of like, I think it was like 80 of them in a row, and just kept going like Yoda says what is required to do what, and then I have to fill in the blank. So that's why as soon as he said this, and then Andrew asked for repeat, I believe, in this one, I kind of felt like, oh, I'm happy I can get it because of what Chandru was training me with. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, because Alex Damon told me after the match, he was like, dude, I blanked on that one, and then I got it back last second, and I was like, yeah, that's what the quote ones do. You kind of blank on it. But
yeah, when you don't really have like a movie for reference, especially in the one pointers, you know, sometimes they mention the movie, sometimes they mention just the character, but so they don't really paint the picture for you all that much. So work a little harder.
I forgot the second question. What was it?
Hands down, please.
I missed it myself. We were in the
Lord Santeca.
Oh yeah, that was an easy one.
Yeah.
I'm just also impressed with the spelling of all this. Like,
5 rounds.
Oh yeah, that is something I want to hit for a moment, because the chat is so very specific, and they hate players who misspell even remotely, but it's never been the point, right? It's phonetic.
Well, yes, that's something I absolutely agree on. I think we're going to be coming up here pretty soon on that actually very same argument. And
with round 3, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember getting into, again, another disagreement, and they were like, well, it's not a spelling contest. And it's like, that's not the point. The point is, if they didn't even pronounce it correctly, or if it's not phonetically correctly, but we're going to get to it later.
Yeah. I was going to say, I have fire takes on that. So I got some hot.
We'll save all the hot takes and all the hot cakes for all in that one moment. So we'll just carry on to the first round as far as that goes. Where's the playground?
Man, Detto, I miss you in your show.
Oh, man.
Hot cakes and fire takes. Let's do it.
I need to feel spicy about something. Right now, it's just negativity.
Oh, that's fair.
Max von Sydow. I know we have a lot of new fans here. Old
This
fans
joke by Mark.
thought he died in 2008.
That's so hardcore.
Pens down, please.
He's been killing it with his jokes this week. I'm
It's
not
so
going to
good.
lie.
This week,
Yeah.
Mark constantly
Permanently?
kills it with his jokes.
Yeah.
To be fair.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, there's sometimes a handful of jokes where I'm like, I just don't expect it. Like sometimes I do expect it, like right before the rules or something. But there's sometimes they're just whipped out, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, and if you see me later on, I think even in this round, I try and play along with him because I'm trying to keep relaxed. Like that's what I do when I compete in the Schmoedown. I think this is the one where he says Kiadi Mundi.
Oh, yeah.
4,
That was such a
3,
big deal before.
2,
So
1. Pens down, and Andrew.
Kiadi Mundi.
yeah,
Mundi is correct, and Andre.
Kiadi Mundi.
Kiadi Mundi is correct.
Are you just like flipping the page with
Yeah.
every single?
I am. So it's got all my matches in there. That notebook.
All right.
That's gonna be like sold on eBay for like $10.
Autograph it, so.
It's
Probably
gonna be,
not.
like, it's gonna be a down payment for like a future house or apartment. Or something.
Yeah.
For just a second, I wanna see just such a drastic difference and ask Ace on this one because I'm always curious on everybody's comfort on not on presentation, right? Like you have Andrew, who is such a stern, serious, locked in, extra focused one, and that's not to say that you aren't, but you're looking on your side of the thing, and you can literally see. Okay, a little bit more laid back, a little bit more comfortable in that way. What's that like riffing in the middle of the match, just with like that social energy, right? Because if you just got a stone wall with Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, I try and stay relaxed. I try and stay in the moment. I try and stay positive and happy. That's why you see me nod my head a lot. That's something that I don't know if you've rewatched my matches, especially in the speed round. I'm just nodding my head. That's me, like telling my body, telling my mind to just like, it's chill, I got it kind of thing. Yeah, I just try and stay in the moment, stay relaxed, enjoy the show for what it is. Like, again, I'm watching one of the best comedians in the world give a performance, which is Mark Ellis. Yeah, I just try and enjoy it for what it is, especially when it comes to categories. Maybe not this match, but in my other matches, when every time Mark says it's the categories, I get excited because I'm always curious what they are as far as round 3 categories. So when he's like in solo or in the Phantom Menace, I'm like, oh, cool. I love Phantom Menace, or oh, I love solo. Or in planets, and I'm like, planets is great. Like I really try and stay positive with each category that I get, and not just be like, oh crap, I hate this kind of thing.
Right. And
so
I think that positive psychology, so to speak, I think does so much for not only just your gameplay, but just to show you as a person still being a Schmoedown competitor character in itself, though, because you even said in your post game, you're like, I feel like I'm one of the few people who still enjoy playing this game. Like, and then you look at these other folk. So yeah, I'm always just curious to see how that translates on performance, but just how you keep your mind in the game while still having fun doing it.
Yeah, and part of it too is this question, for example. I mean, I talked about it with Alex Damon in my post match live thing that I did for my channel, First Cut. The idea of enjoying every single Star Wars movie. In my short tenure on Jedi Council, which was like a month and a half, for anyone who watched that, they know my attitude and my perspective on Star Wars, which is just kind of focus on the positive and not try to focus on the negative aspects of Star Wars, which is what a lot of Star Wars YouTubers try and do, which is just poke at it. but my ideology with Star Wars is just taking it for what it is and what it's trying to say. And if it's trying to say something good, I'll take it. So I enjoy every single Star Wars movie, which I think gives me a little advantage, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if all the other Star Wars competitors do.
I actually had that conversation with Roka the other day, where because at the time we were rewatching one of his first matches of all time at the Beast Spin episode, the famous Beast Spin match.
Best Spin, yeah.
Sorry, Best Spin, not Beast Spin. Sorry.
I was like, yo, Beast Spin sounds fire though.
What up? The remix version. But essentially, he was like saying that he was so scared about the idea of getting a Star Wars question because he was just starting out with his Star Wars podcast, and he was getting a lot of flack on it, essentially for not having all of his facts 100% correct. And he was like mentioning like some concerns that some criticism saying that you can't be a Star Wars podcaster now or be a real fan of Star Wars if you don't know all the details, all the small details. And the thing is, I don't agree. I'm like where this like you can appreciate it every single way you want. That's you know, I'm not going to tell you how you can appreciate something. You can make the argument that someone might know more details about it, but you know, at that end. So it sounds like overall you might feel the same way. It's all about the overall themes and not the finite details.
Yeah, and there's a huge vocal community inside Star Wars that has this like superiority effect. I don't know what else to call it, but this idea of like, I know more than you, therefore you are not a Star Wars fan.
Yes.
And it's coming. It's kind of with the old generation. Part of it is my generation as well, so I have to, you know, make sure I, you know, poke at myself too. It's that idea of like, well, I grew up with them and I know them more than you, which is why I was so excited with the Final Four that we had. We had two women, which is amazing. Molly and Laura in the Final Four. We had Andrew, a person of color. You had myself, who's Latino, so I grew up with the Latin perspective of Star Wars, and that shows a different structure to the Star Wars community, a different fandom, that we're not all necessarily 50-year-old white dudes who saw the movie when it came out and knows more than you do. That's the kind of attitude that I wanted to show to the Star Wars community in this Schmoedown.
Yeah. Well, it's like in a galaxy far, far away. The world of Star Wars is massive.
Yeah,
it's huge. And I remember there was like an SNL skit where Donald Glover, he did a skit about Star Wars, and he pretty much as the only like black person in all of the world of Star Wars, and it was like at a Star Wars convention kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like a Star Wars convention for people of color, and he was the only one that was able to attend because they were like, wait, there's no other people of color that's in the Star Wars so far.
Yeah,
at least up until that point. So it was kind of there, or at least there was like less than 5. At least he was kind of saying in the skit. And so it's kind of funny. Now it's actively being changed. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kelsey, before we chug along, do you want to get that last donation?
Yes, we have a Streamlab. It came in. It says, came to show my respect to Upset City. Andres, bro, you looked at me in the eyes and told me, let me get back in the match and I can show you what I can really do. And you proved it. That walk-off was savage. Much love from Justin, Ferris, and Shug.
Hey, those are my boys. Love those guys. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah, I brought my basketball mentality to this whole thing. My idea of making sure I'm ready and you know, bringing that 23 mentality, Michael Jordan. So yeah.
I appreciate that you point out who that is, because I am not a sports person.
Yay, sports.
Yeah. I really did. I love watching those matches. Yeah, even the past matches, and just thinking to myself, like I got this. I can do this. That's what you have to say to yourself when you're competing. So
absolutely. But anyway, let's carry back on with the match, guys.
I believe related to Nick Mundy, good friend of the show. Oh yeah.
So I even told him, he's like, it could be.
Man, the intensity on y'all's faces, though. You and Andrew.
Punky Muffin.
Punky Muffin is correct. And
what kind of name is that? Punky Muffin.
Unreal, still. Unreal. As we see ourselves now, Mark, it is now 5-5 as we get to our 6th question.
I wonder, as a host, which league
Punky Muffin.
Harloff is like most nervous to host.
They're the greatest film of all
Yeah.
time.
Because it's obvious, he's made like several like comments being like, "Oh, challenges! Oh crap!" You know, be like, "Please no challenges, please." And he's kind of joking, but at the same time, it's like obviously every time a challenge is issued, people like kind of low key freak out in the chats, and he gets tweeted at and all that good stuff.
I think between challenges in this league and then like intergame pronunciations. Yeah, exactly.
Middle Earth and intergeekdom.
Yeah.
One for Ace.
So this is my flub right here. This is amazing to watch.
Not gonna lie, I was in the chat I was in. There was a lot of we were worried.
The reason why is because it's a trick question, which is why I'm not a big fan of it, if I'm being honest. Just not a big fan of that question specifically. I've given him much love already to PJ, but just that little trick question, I get it. It's supposed to trick you. Where it's who says I have a really bad feeling about it versus I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah. And I obviously memorized every single person who has said I have a bad feeling about this. Right. So I know that in Return of the Jedi, it's C-3PO and Han Solo. Mm-hmm. However, I had to figure out who added the really. And I was like, crap, who says I have a really bad feeling versus who says I have a bad feeling?
And doesn't the beginning of the question say like the famous quote, which technically the famous quote doesn't have really in it?
Right.
Yeah, but then they quote it, which is like when they said that, I'm assuming Andrew and I both know the point of the question. It was like, oh, there's two people who say it. It's Han and C-3PO. Which one says really? So that's me being like, oh, crap. Is, you know, Han Solo at Bright Tree Village blowing the fire with the Ewoks, or is it C-3PO in Jabba's palace? And it's just me rewatching the movie in my head and getting it wrong, which kind of got me mad because I knew I had a 50-50 shot and I just missed.
Yeah.
So
yeah, sometimes that's all. And honestly, considering those are the best odds you can hope for as well, you know. So
yeah.
I think it's always a credit to see that you can even take it that far and still get it to 50-50. I mean, that's such a sign of a skilled player right there.
Yeah, it's frustrating because there's a few movies that have two people say the line, and this happened to be one of them. So I was like, crap. It's a trick question. Great. Yeah.
I think, I don't think I feel so bad for the question writers.
Oh, I know. They can't win either way. They
get attacked quite a bit. Yeah.
Sorry, that's partially me.
Oh no, I mean, like it makes sense considering, you know, I mean, there's so many questions and there's a lot of people involved. It makes 100%, you know, sense. At the end of the day, we're also as fans, as competitors, it's literally our job. Well, not literally your job, but it feels like our job to find those issues.
Right.
You know, to overanalyze to that extent every single question. So
yeah, if you see my first match, you see me actually get mad at a question.
I remember. Oh my god.
Yeah, the Kevato match, I got mad at a question. I was like, no, that question is wrong. And I still stand by that. So just the wording of the question, I really didn't like. I still got it right, but I was like, that's not correct. But yeah, that's me being a jerk, a Star Wars snob. So
don't worry, we all have our moments. If you love Star Wars, you have your snob.
Actually,
All right, Alex. All right, Alex, you have snob moments in pretty much any other.
I'm sorry. There's a lot. I apologize.
Tell me about your opinion on Inception. Let's go back to that.
Not on brand, but sorry.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, Ace. Pens down, and we start with Andrew.
Han Solo.
Yes, Andres.
I said C-3PO.
Did not have it. So Andrew takes his first lead here. Andrew takes his first lead as we get to our next question.
Was there a thought to?
And
yeah, you can see I'm pissed.
Yeah. You can tell the energy is just right on your face with that, which is like definitely another follow up on that one. But is there a thought for you to challenge on that spot? Or do you just know that you're like, listen, I know the question's worded in a way to intentionally trip me up, so it's not
I knew exactly what he was doing. I knew exactly what he was doing with the whole idea of like, hey, it's a trick question. You know, you know, they both said who has a bad feeling about this, but who said really? And I was like, crap. So no, I can't challenge because it specifically asked for really. Which I know that's what he wanted. He wanted to say, well, which one of the two, C-3PO and Han, said really? And credit to Andrew, he remembered. I didn't.
Do you think it's I think the Star Wars League compared to the other leagues, it's almost like versus other leagues, at least I usually say if there's like, unless it's like a clearly obvious challenge, you know, don't use it, just because you want to save those for, you know, the other rounds. But I feel like in Star Wars, considering the accuracy ratings, if there is something that could be challenged right away in the first round, just because, and now it's like only like 1, maybe 2 point difference between the winner and the person that the winner and the loser. So it's you gotta almost in the first round issue that challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends because you still want to win the challenge, right? So if you feel like you have a chance of winning the challenge, then I would challenge. If I don't feel like I have a chance of winning, then I probably wouldn't. But again, you'll get my spicy takes when we hit round 3.
Spicy, okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to use that as a cue to chug along because now I want that spicy.
What's that? Hotcakes.
I know.
Allegiant General Pride.
A lot of.
I can tell you guys, as a person who's watched all the Star Wars movies many times,
waited 6 months in line.
I had no idea what this question was asking.
Yeah, this is the Rise of Skywalker actor.
3, 2,
I haven't seen any of the Star Wars movies since college, to be 100% honest.
Oh wow!
I just haven't.
Andrew.
It's
Ricky Grant.
Oh wait, I did no. The last time I saw any of the Star Wars movies was like any of the newer ones was in theaters, but I haven't seen any of them since.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen like Solo or Rise of Skywalker
No way.
in theaters. Yeah.
Oh, but you've seen him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because you're right. I haven't seen it since coming to Netflix or anything, from what I remember.
Got it. Yeah, Star Wars is one of the franchises that I rewatch in theaters multiple times.
Yeah. Like
But
Rise of
again-
Skywalker, I saw it 3 times in one day because I'm just like, okay, back to back to back.
Oh, I
Yeah.
remember saying
I
that.
saw it 5 times. I saw Force Awakens 7 times.
I saw
Attack of
Last
the
Jedi.
Clones,
And
I think
Andrew.
Attack of the Clones. I think I saw it 6.
Yes, Andres.
That is
So-
nuts.
Less Jedi 3 times. That took me 2 times to feel like I could form my opinion on it yet. Like,
Andres.
Yeah, I think I saw Last Jedi like 4 or 5 times.
Question here, 9
Yeah.
Theaters.
The
So,
Last Jedi.
oh, there we go.
Speaking
Last
of,
Jedi.
Leia on crate. He says to
This
Leia,
one's really easy.
that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people were scoffing at
Yeah.
it.
us casuals knew that one, Christian. Try to
Yeah. They're like, if I know it,
right.
Tell you that.
That's my general rule of thumb. If I'm like, oh, I know it,
5,
I'll be surprised if they didn't know it.
3, 2.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Mark was commenting on my
Her hair.
armpit sweat.
Her hair.
And Andrew Dimelanta is 1 point away from a perfect round here. 9-8. 9-8.
Can I just say how much I love how friendly and nice Andrew Dimelanta is, but I would never talk to him pre or post a match because he has that energy attached to him.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would have talked to him.
He just so, I don't want to say he's scary, but at the same time, his intensity is such
Was being
on a high level.
Yeah.
I know to me, it's definitely one of the most, it was him and Laura Kelly. They were the most, to me at least, I was like going into it, I was like, okay, I don't really know who's going to be in the Star Wars tournament, but I know these 2 people are in it. And I feel like those are the most people I'm most curious about so far.
Yes.
But
Dimelanta and Andres.
2187.
2187.
numbers.
Andres.
Right.
Yeah. That's actually a really easy one.
Easy combo of numbers, random numbers.
Not have to write it down. Now, if for some reason for some reason I do not understand and we need to repeat.
You can see Andrew finally cracking because he's just like, I get it. You're talking.
I think it's because it's a joke from Christian too.
It's gonna happen, but here we go. Bonus question. Who says the following line from the franchise. Could be any of the movies. I'm ending all of this.
Oh yeah,
Free to text the Jedi. I'm going to burn it all down.
Luke Skywalker.
For one more point, Andrew Dimelanta. Perfect here. 11-9, 11-9, and we're going to bring back both Bobby Gucci and
I won't pause
Winston
it for it because the
Marshall
managers will
here as
banter
we get
for
to
it. But
the
I do want to ask,
round
what's
number
your
2.
what's your
Mark, how's it
feeling
going?
going in at the end of round 1,
This
11-9?
is known as the wheel round. We can
It's me being like, okay, I have to catch up. I have to make sure and catch up. I have to get a perfect round 2. And I have to go perfect all the way, frankly. So my mentality is like, it's only 2 points. It could be worse. And I have to catch up. So
however, stealing is available in round number 2. So if you're not sure of the answer, ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which is the correct answer. At that point, the value of the question goes down to 1. Christian is doing the book.
Do you think Mark just does this in his sleep? Like he just snores round 1, 2, and 3 rules?
He doesn't read them, apparently. He doesn't. He has it all memorized.
Yeah, memorized. Yeah.
Yeah, he did it like before a chill episode, I think.
Yeah, when we had a Bonnie, he did it.
Drop Andres.
I told him it's a good thing to wash your hands too. You can just say the rules as you're washing your hands instead of singing a song to yourself.
If you want to spin first,
That's so funny.
Now.
Yeah.
Right.
Every time they say the rules, I'm like, all right, this is time for me to breathe.
Do some yoga sessions.
So I've always wondered with the new Zoom Twitch format and everything like that,
Right,
behind
so
the scenes
then,
with you and
now.
Winston, is
Do you
there
have
just
a
like
decision?
Are you guys just like zoned in, or are you just
All right,
totally trying to
we'll
breathe
come
and just
up.
being like, all
There
right,
we
let
go.
me take this moment?
And here's the first spin.
Oh yeah, I'm zoned in. I'm super
Banter anymore.
focused on making sure I get every question right.
Now, I do think that obviously, since there is so few movies and you're hyper focused on those movies, do you feel like it's possible, I could say, to have weaknesses when it comes to round 2?
Oh, we're gonna drop Gucci.
Or at least you should. I mean, like, because first, to me, that's someone that's not involved with Star Wars. To me, it sounds like every slice is a strength. There's none that could be weaknesses, just because you need the accuracy ratings. But do you feel like, as a competitor, you feel like you could have strengths and real strengths versus weaknesses?
Yes, because there's usually a natural preference towards your favorite movies and the movies you've watched the most. There's also a generation factor that I think is a huge deal, and obviously that goes to the last question, because Ken has been very vocal about Andrew Dimelanta's 5-pointer. But just the idea of like, if I saw the original movies in theaters and I grew up with this, certain questions might be easier than versus if I just got into it now with the sequel trilogy.
Or if you with the edits and stuff.
Yeah, I actually told this to RB3 and Sabrina on behind the scenes. So I'll tell you guys, obviously it's not a big deal, but my thing was like,
question 3.
I feel like I have a little advantage with the prequels because I grew up with them. There's something about memories that you associate with childhood. It sticks with you longer. So I remember as a kid playing with the toys, as a kid going to the theater and watching it 100 times. And that sticks in my brain a little bit harder than maybe the sequel trilogy or the original trilogy.
Who says Kahan?
So that helps me in Phantom Menace, for example.
Yeah, I was going to point out with Jake's comment. He says in match, Ace keeps looking at reaction. He says you look down, it's perfect.
Like, a lot of the same poses.
Yeah, you're looking at you in the future like, I got this, buddy. Don't worry.
Line over Andres.
Like, yeah, look at that.
Here, Andrew, and now bring in Winston Marshall.
I hope somebody memes this into oblivion and makes Aceception as such a thing with just aces upon aces.
It's just my same posing, and I'm trying to not do it. I'm like, crap.
Directly at my in the camera.
Everyone's got their go-tos.
Yeah.
The quote, Frozen, and all them little children that said it, let it go. All right. You know why? Because what I love about watching you play the game is you're the only person that I see that actually has fun doing this. Let's keep having fun, baby. Let's keep having fun.
I feel like that's true.
Let's go.
The fun factor, to a certain extent, at a certain level in this league, it can definitely be removed.
Drip, drip, let's go. Drip, drip. I don't know how much time I got, but I'm going to keep going till you say I can't talk no more.
I want to pause right here because one, because I think the pause screens are excellent, but two, I think this is such a wild thing for a manager to do, because I think that in most other competitors, Gucci tried to do anything like this to put Andrew out of his mindset, this would I don't think Andrew would perform as well at all. But
yeah,
he starts losing.
Right.
He's like, "What was the question? I missed it."
He starts thinking of Star Wars facts, and all he's imagining is just Gucci shirtless, pelvic thrusting at the camera, right?
That's his version. His version of dancing and Winston's version of dancing is clearly very different.
I'm sure.
So
right.
obviously the reaction will be different. I would be concerned if Gucci started dancing. I'd be like, "Are you okay? Are you sick?"
I think it's incredibly awesome to see your guys' relationship transition so well right here, because it's a difference on him taking you out of your mindset or him keeping you in that calm, let's have fun mindset, and it worked. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's totally what he's trying to do. He's trying to loosen me up and make sure I'm not in my head, which helps. It really does.
Yeah, I just remember thinking, watching this, not only was this hilarious, but in the addition, I was just like, this is genius, because he's getting you not to play Andrew's game. Andrew is that type, but you need to be that relaxed type. So again, shout outs to Winston. What a manager, dude. That is props.
We're gonna cut you off now. All right, let's bring the wheel back.
Probably done because you pulled it off my face.
All right. I care about that. Here's and I have fun. Here's the spin.
Christian trying to defend that he is
I
fine.
was just going to let him go. He looks like he
Oh, this is so weird right now.
I know, so many windows on
Zip.
Spin. And you got the Phantom Menace. You 60 seconds to decide what you want to do. Here we go.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anything else on there that. Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
You feel good about it?
Yeah, I feel great about it.
Great. Then let's do it.
All right. Thank you, Winston.
And this is a prime example of a movie that you grew up with the toys and all that good stuff.
Yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite movies, Phantom Menace.
And with one of the greatest songs of all time with Jewel of the Fates.
Yes, it is.
I listened to that at the gym.
Yes, as you should.
Yeah.
It's an incredible song.
That movie is just so slept on, even just for the Qui-Gon lore and Qui-Gon by himself, man.
Yeah, it's incredible. I talked about it with Mark Riley on his Cantina show. It's such a good movie.
He arrives on Tatooine and visits.
This question.
I was gonna ask. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the question where I was like, "What?"
Is it the way
see my face?
Shocking one, or yeah,
yeah.
That there's still slavery in the galaxy?
2 points. That is correct.
Point. All right. Next question. Question 2.
Yeah.
All right. In the Phantom Menace, why didn't the Jedi Council want Anakin to be trained according to Mace Windu?
He's too old.
Too old to begin the
same
training.
thing I heard at Catholic Church. He's too old.
Question 3.
Whoa, Dylan.
That got dark.
Racing. On what other planet?
Statements of Dylan are not representative of the opinions of
Hey, nothing against the Catholic Church. I had wonderful times.
3 questions. He's got 2 left in episode. Penultimate question, Andres. What character says the ability to speak does not make you intelligent?
Qui-Gon Jinn.
That's facts.
That sounds like a Qui-Gon thing to say.
Yeah.
One question.
I didn't even know, and I was like,
you're living by that now.
Qui-Gon is such a king of shade for this the one movie he gets. Everything he has is so backhanded.
Of the Space Fighter Corps on Naboo.
That's where Christian repeated it
a little bit more.
Then let's do it again. I'll use my JTE rule. In the Phantom Menace, who is in charge of the Space Fighter Corps on Naboo?
Rick Ollier.
Ladies and gentlemen, got a perfect round from both competitors, Christian.
Unbelievable there. 21-19. Andres Cabrera also having a perfect round in the realm of Phantom
Can I say
Menace
that I'm also
and still
jealous of you
keeps
guys'
himself
amazing
in
screen,
distance as he's down
just
2
headshots
points
for both
to
of these,
Andrew
for all the
Dimelanta.
graphics. You guys have the best.
You look like actors, like headshots.
Number 3 mark.
Yeah, that's literally the only picture I have.
The perfect round.
I always struggle with my profile pics because I don't have any.
I also think you guys kind of like low key look similar as well.
Oh, do we?
Like low key, like your hair is parted the same way. It does. I mean, it's like yours is like spikier than his. Obviously, his is coiffed. At the same time, you both clearly styled it at the same angle. You both are like you both like really tan. You're both like slowly smiling, and it's just like
No.
kind
We're
of
nerdy dudes.
similar. Like same
These nerds.
It's kind of like jarring for
That's what she's
Dimelanta.
saying. Look at those nerds.
Right, like Andrew's face compared to like his face in the picture, I'm just like, that is not the same guy.
So you spin the category, and as soon as
Yes, PC. Thank you
PC,
for helping me. Yes.
both
Both
handsome.
very handsome. Very handsome.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
Yeah. Well, Andrew's married and he's got a kid.
Yeah.
the question, and you missed.
I do not.
You lose that many points.
Danny and
Is that
Chad.
PC?
Points can be won or lost.
I missed all that. Sorry, guys.
No, you're.
All right.
Roll three.
Start here.
I'm looking at the chat's
We'll
Catholic
come up,
remarks on my joke.
first of
Guys, I
all,
grew
we'll
up
have
Catholic. So
Winston Marshall. Winston Marshall. Yes, Winston?
it's my background. Let me have it.
So
Okay.
normally when a betting one happens, it is a secret to the other competitor about what they are betting. So I'm curious about that and potentially, I mean, if
Good
if
question
the
asked.
competitors
Was
don't
that
bet,
discussed
then
beforehand? I mean,
put it
obviously,
out
I
there
would guess
because
no,
that
because
is
Winston's
what
bringing it up. So
Simultaneously, you got to do it simultaneously once you have the.
No, it wasn't. But again, Winston's bringing up something that I didn't even think of. So
Yeah, I didn't sleep about it either. I'm like, oh, that's a really solid point.
right.
With Andrew Dimelanta, who will have the spin here, and there's the spin.
All right. So before even the wheel even hits, do you already have it in your head that you got to go 3, or do you?
We're on the
Yeah.
homepage of Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I was like, it's whatever to me what Winston was saying. 'Cause I was like, dude, I'm gonna put 3 anyway, so it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
Oh gosh.
Oh, and then
This gives me anxiety.
Yeah.
Heroes and villains.
Oh my lord.
Heroes and villains.
And thousands of people all lean forward to look closer at their screens.
Yeah, literally thousands.
At this point, there was like 10, 11,000 people watching, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Awesome.
11,000 people have a ruler on their
Ace, are
screen.
you
No,
ready?
no, it's the Phantom Menace.
Here we go.
Don't you
3,
ruin this.
2, 1. Great.
We actually did it at the same
So,
time, which was cool.
Here is the question. Here's the question for heroes and villains.
Yeah, so I got mad at this question. You could see my face.
I can't wait. We've been waiting for this.
I just like how he just strokes his facial hair.
All right, gentlemen, here we go. In Solo, what character says to Han, let me give you some advice. Assume everyone will betray you and you will never be disappointed.
All right, we're gonna pause right here because I want.
Is
Yeah.
that Lando? That sounds like a Lando thing to say.
No, it's in the trailer, but I'll let Ace go on his rant with that stuff.
Oh wait, I remember this answer now. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, so you could, if you keep playing it, you could see my reaction to the question.
I don't think
Where see right there, I'm pissed because I thought it was so freaking easy,
That's right.
and I was hoping for a deep cut that might trip him up, because I kind of feel confident in deep cuts, and I was hoping for something super hard that he could possibly miss and I can get right.
Oh yeah, because this is.
Let's pause.
Oh,
in
on the board,
second.
yeah.
Oh
For
yeah.
a split
Okay.
second. For a split second.
Let's firstly Andrew's face right before he turns it.
Yeah.
Tobias Beckett.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go back. I know.
Dylan, you fail.
You have to click on the little button. Twitch is so specific.
Tobias Beckett.
Tobias Beckett. Okay.
One job, Dylan. One job. No.
Bro.
You said?
Tobias.
Tobias Beckett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand it is me. I'm surprised it wasn't challenged. I also know that Winston tried to challenge it later on.
Yeah.
He tried to challenge it later on. But he did it a little too late. Are you guys able to view the chat while you're recording or no?
We could see the private chat, not the live chat.
Yeah.
You cannot. Okay. Yeah. Because I heard some people being like, oh, he's reading the chat. That's why he wanted to bring it up later on. And I was like, I don't know. Can he? So,
Oh yeah, with the managers. That's the
yeah, because
You're
it's
right.
not phonetically correct technically.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a whole conversation in and of itself.
It's kind of this weird thing, right? Because you have it and it's like phonetically, yeah, it just reads Tabis really at best, and I guess there's a challenge we have there, but it also knowing the difficulty of the question and knowing that he's such a main character for Solo, it's kind of hard to sit there and say that like Andrew doesn't know this character or what the name is, right? Like,
that's my hot take. Here comes my spicy hot take.
All right,
is the idea of a lot of people being like, you know, he clearly missed it. I should have challenged all this kind of stuff, but he knew the answer. Like, I think even Alex Damon has said it multiple times. Like, if he just wrote Beckett, he probably would have gotten it right. It's a super easy question, so I'm fine with it, if I'm being honest. I'm fine with a lot of stuff though, so it's not like I have in general, I just feel like if you know the answer, you know it. So there's the Adam Witt, Molly Damon, the Tiderium, the absolutes. I think all those should be taken. That's my spicy hot take where I was like, who cares, bro? Like, he clearly knows it. It's an easy question for us Star Wars competitors. Like, yeah, that's it. And I could go off on the shield generator thing, energy field, energy shield question that Molly and Adam got, which is a repeat question. Same with Tiderium. It's a repeat question. It's something that's like, he was literally in the match where they asked that question. He clearly knows it's Tiderium, and he said Tiderium. So so I'm fine with Beckett. I mean, even if you said Beckett.
Give me another fly. Shit. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
She has very bad luck with flies. They've flown in her mouth. They've gone in her nose.
And I was like,
this may be the third on record instance where a fly.
Dylan, do you have access to the GIF and the things?
Oh,
I don't.
God, I wish I do. Where's Paul Denuzio the one time I need him?
Also, I'm not signed in. Oh well.
Yeah, I'm not either. But so before I move on, I want to take a moment to scorn fellow co-host Paul Denuzio. And Andreas, this has a lot to do with you. So you were on my all right. Full disclosure, you were on my fantasy roster. Kevin Smith came out after the Intergeekdom match. I switched you out for Kevin Smith, and I was going to pick you right back up, but right after your play-in match. Paul Denuzio said that we had to wait 24 hours, and then he stole you from me, which was like a lot of points on my fantasy roster.
Wait, he stole you even though he picked against me?
Yeah.
How does that?
Wait, what? What I missed?
He's like, he's gonna lose. I'm still picking him.
Paul snagging on Ace in the fantasy league. Whenever I was like, all right, hey, I want to pick back up. He's like, gotta wait 24 hours. I said, all right, that's dumb, but all right. And then 24 hours pass. Paul picks up Ace, and then here we are. So Paul Denuzio, I hate you.
Come on, Paul.
You're skewed.
I'm in 3 different fantasy leagues, and I'm really regretting it now because I'm like on one of them I'm in second place and I'm spectacular. On the other hand, I'm like in last place, and because I'm getting them mixed up, and there's some where like things are taken and things aren't.
This is what you get for being too friendly, Alan.
And there's I guess so, and there's different rules for each of them, and I'm just. There's a lot. Can I just like break out of a league like mid-season? Is that possible?
Sure can.
I have not checked my season since I joined it, so I'm practically not there.
But also, Ace is also in one of my leagues. So
yeah. I was the first one to draft Ace on that, and then Paul stole him from me. So anyway, here's the rest of the match.
What a weenie.
Both are correct. So Andrew Dimelanta keeps his 2-point lead. As we get into round number.
And now we've got the new speed round. What was your expectations with this new speed round going in?
And we're going to bring in.
I was nervous. I practiced it with Chandru and Winston. And the first thing that stood out to me when I did it was, oh my God, 60 seconds goes so fast. When I first heard it, I was like, that's butter. That's easy. I thought I could do it in 30. But then I practiced it, and it was always like I have 1 second left or 2 seconds left, or barely got it in on time. So,
do you think are you one of those people that would rather risk it and potentially losing the point, or rather pass?
Well, the idea of pass is mainly come back to it, right? Think about it a little bit, then come back to it. So I did that once, and obviously it didn't work. But my idea was like, I'm confident I can answer every single question in this. That was kind of my mentality. So, and I almost did, which kind of sucks. Yeah, that was my mentality.
You're kind of confident.
No, I was like, I'm gonna get every single question right because I did in the practice ones, and I did a lot of practice ones.
Right.
And there were some tougher ones in practice.
Or no? Do you practice with a buzzer? I know obviously they don't use a buzzer, but did you practice with like some kind of like buzzer or anything?
No. I practiced this version.
Okay, at the time. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, Winston.
If I face Alex, that's a whole different monster. If we do it live, and I have
Yeah,
a
I'm
buzzer.
not kidding.
Because Alex dominates the speed round, like dominates.
It's unnatural. It really is.
Right
Yeah.
now. So speed round is about to begin. But before we get to the speed round, I wanted to remind everybody once again, if you're joining us, Schmoedown Expo. It is a 2-day virtual con.
Well, it goes on that. First, can I just say I was so stoked to not only see all of this go on, but see that we were at like 11,000 people on this.
Yeah, it jumped dramatically. It was awesome. Like we were at like 2,300 at first, and it's only like just a ton of people came in when we got to the front page. So at one point, it was like 12,000 people.
Make sure you
Super
crazy.
Ace, what's it like knowing that 11,000 people know who you are for this?
It isn't like, because I had no idea. It could have been just us in there, and I would have reacted the same way.
Right.
That was, they don't tell us, so it's not like we're expecting anything. So
right. Front page is lit, by the way, also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Starting.
There we go.
Dan White will want to go first. Yeah, right.
Yeah. You want to go first? That's it. Okay. Perfect. All right. So Andres and Winston.
I love how much you can tell about Andrew's style on this too. He is just a momentum player. He plays forward. He doesn't want to ever feel like he's behind.
Watching with his
It's a good strategy. I mean, I try to do the same.
Hands up. Hands up.
I think I went first every time in every single one of my matches, besides Cabrera.
When Winston is back, Winston was accidentally dropped.
Right before Andrew gets his round, we got a donation coming in. Congrats, Ace, your improvement over this tournament and title match will be great to chronicle, and that is from the wonderful Megs. Megs, where are you at? Okay, this is our comment.
All of our stats and everything. So literally chronicling your data changes.
Yeah, she is my favorite statistician of all time, Megs. You know I love you, girl. Much love.
Thank you. Like you to join us, so head on over to youtube.com/the Schmoedown and please subscribe today. A lot of different matches.
This was the confusion of like having Winston in there or not in there.
Yeah.
Winston.
Which I would love to pick it. Like Andrew's brain on this is just like start the speed round. Like you can tell he's just so ready to get into it. I totally don't blame him.
Yeah.
He is a young guy.
Go ahead.
I did want to mention it because I saw, I don't know if it's Zeke or Zeke Gallo, because I have been asked this question before because I'm a manager in the fan leagues where they said, why do managers have to have their hands up? Because I don't think this is a discussion that's really necessary within Schmoedown, but I have been told as someone that's been in matches for fan leagues that managers also in a lot of leagues had to have their hands up because there have been conversations of, someone could be cheating, things like that. Your manager is sending you answers, that kind of stuff. And it's really a stupid thing to really kind of risk your reputation and everything over and cheat. It's just kind of ridiculous overall. But yeah, so there is that theory. So, and also a lot of people that will say that, it could say to other people that they can do that in the future potentially.
Yeah.
And like no one wants to have that conversation surrounding such an awesome match. Like you don't want that to be a dominant topic in any form. Surrounding a match like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, if you're Christian and Mark, you just pretty much do everything you can to minimize any risk on it. Right. Yeah. So
do whatever you can.
Yeah, and they asked me to leave the stream, which I thought was like, oh, cool. I guess I'm leaving. And then they put me on another stream.
So. Which I assume is just Winston yelling, "Drip, drip, let's go!" the entire time.
No, he's actually in this one.
Oh yeah, that's right. He comes in off the tail end.
Yeah, just to make sure everything's okay.
Yeah, he's off.
I didn't know the questions at all.
Right.
How many films of the Star Wars series did George Lucas direct?
4.
Who plays Dryden Voss in Solo?
Pass.
By what title is Tarkin called by Krennic in Rogue One?
Pass.
What is the home planet of the Wookiees as seen in Revenge of the Sith?
Cheek.
What is the name of the informant Cassian meets on Kafrene?
Tivik.
In The Force Awakens, who says that's not how the Force works?
Han.
In how many theatrically released films did Harrison Ford appear in as Han Solo?
6.
And who plays Dryden Voss in Solo? All right, time's out.
Paul Bettany.
Time's out on that one. Time's out.
Ooh, didn't get that last point.
We're gonna drop you out. We're gonna drop you out.
Yeah, as a viewer too, the scoring on this round, we were really confused in the chat because it's so behind the scenes and it was going changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the score changed after they put up the score on top of that, which is
So we were real confused.
and of course that chat was just bloodthirsty already because it's a Star Wars match on Twitch.
So now we're waiting for.
And there was already people were already also like freaking out in the chat over like the potential challenge that wasn't mentioned.
Yeah.
With Tobias.
Andres is back. Gonna drop. We're gonna leave. Gucci is in. Andres is back. Andres, you're gonna get the same questions. We're gonna make sure. Can you make sure? I just need the writing team to make sure to unhighlight, and then we are going to get you 60 questions here, Andres, and you will not be revealed what Andrew got until after the round is over. Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
60 seconds on the clock, starting now. Genevieve O'Reilly plays which character in Rogue One?
Mon Mothma.
What is the first name of the Ewok Leia befriends on Endor?
Wicket.
Who directed The Empire Strikes Back?
Irving Kershner.
How many films in the Star Wars series did George Lucas direct?
4.
Who plays Dryden Voss in Solo?
Paul Bettany.
By what title is Tarkin called by Krennic in Rogue One?
Pass.
What is the home planet of the Wookiees as seen in Revenge of the Sith?
Kashyyyk.
What is the name of the informant Cassian meets on Kafrene? In The Force Awakens, who says that's not how the Force works?
Han Solo.
In how many theatrically released films did Harrison Ford appear as Han Solo?
4.
By what title is Tarkin called by
Grand Moff.
All right. So with that,
I love how wrong I am.
This makes me want a Iron Man match again. So
I know.
Yeah, I love how wrong I am and how loud I am. I'm like, I'm wrong.
Do you see the timer or no?
No, I didn't want to see it, if I'm being real. They told me I could if I wanted to, but I looked away from the screen, which you can see in the video, because I didn't want to have that added pressure of a timer there. So.
We kind of mentioned earlier, like some people thrive on that kind of pressure, like that kind of physical reminder, and some people freak out, like myself. Like it just builds anxiety for me. I have a question from the chat. I didn't notice it, but Patrick mentioned, did anyone ever explain why the additional point was awarded? I know it wasn't 3.
Yeah, Megs had caught it on the tail end. Essentially, they just did their math wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, it was just a miscount, I think, is what they're saying.
Hard.
Yeah.
Math is...
So essentially, we remained the same as what it was afterwards. He passed on 2 and he missed 1, I think. So. Yeah.
So knowing that the score remains largely unchanged going into round 5, what's your headspace in that?
Hit all my questions. My thing is, again, honestly, I know I'm kind of predicting the end of the match already, but part of me is like, it's always going to come down to a 5-pointer. Assume he misses his 5-pointer and hope that I get mine. Is kind of my thing.
We did have another question from the chat as well. Just kind of talking about the one of your answers. He mentioned it sounded like Ace said Irving Kershner with a G when his name is Irvin. Do you have any thoughts or clarification?
No, I said Irvin. Sorry, dude. Rewatch it. I just did. I clearly said Irvin Kershner.
I don't know. I mean, it's like clearly, like you mentioned earlier, it's clearly you know it, and it's like things like if you spelled it out and you said Irving with a G, that's a different situation.
Right.
But obviously, that was
and I feel like I said it right. I mean, my thing is always like some people might question it, but no, I know I said it right. So
It's Titarium and Titarian all over again.
Yeah.
All good. Mm-hmm.
Just checking. All good, says Ryan. Right on, brother.
Desperate to use those challenges, my dude. That's what they want. All the challenges.
Yeah.
Every audience member watching these is our own little managers just for everybody. We're like, no, we would challenge this immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
especially in Star Wars too, where pronunciations are going to be off no matter what.
Considering like the names and the weird words and all that. Oh my. Like, what?
Yeah, like B-spin.
Oh God, the legendary B-spin controversy. Oh my!
I want to go to B-spin. It sounds like a great planet.
You guys are weenies, okay? No one's ever corrected me. I've said this before.
I imagine it like a bee planet.
A bee planet.
Right.
It's just honeycombs everywhere.
Jerry Seinfeld voice as far as I can see.
Yeah. We love you, Al.
Ben Rainer hitting with the hard questions. How did you guys get future belt winner Ace on this show tonight? You really scored awesome.
Ooh,
we really did.
Speaking into the future. Manifest.
And also, he's a pretty cool person, easy person to get a hold of on Twitter. So I just literally, what's up? Want to come on sometime? And he's like, cool, yeah. Literally how it went on Twitter.
I think some people with a lot of I guess really any of the fan shows are just like, how do you guys get these competitors? And we're like, bro, we're people, dude. We freaking made Twitter. Like,
yeah, a few other people have asked me, and I think I'm doing all their shows. I don't think I've turned anyone down. I'll happily do any of this with you guys, especially you guys, because you guys are great. So
you flatter us.
Yeah.
See, look at that. Dark shirts, similar haircut situation.
Yeah. Both nerd-looking dudes, nerdy dudes.
You both look like you're auditioning to be in the Men in Black. Like, just signing up to be in it.
I'll take it.
Like they both look like they have back problems in this one. They're just carrying so much weight on their factions.
The posture.
Right.
It's mainly our head. We're carrying our head. It's falling down.
That's okay.
That's why their hair is so big. It's just so full of secrets.
Jake, also, we've built a lot of relationships at live events. Boy, you ain't kidding. We mingle.
Villains.
I miss live events so much.
Yeah, I've been to a few, but I haven't met that many people there. Obviously, my Schmoedown experience has been just this year. So,
Jesse, you're going to be overwhelmed with the.
Oh my God, it's going to be wild.
Situation. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny how a lot of people were like, "Who's this new guy? I've never seen him before," and I'm like, "I've been with the Schmoes forever."
Literally the dawn of time.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. I want to get in on this moment because this is obviously a hard one for you.
You guys are trying to make me look bad. I get it.
All right, man. I'm sorry. Like, if it makes you feel better, like I know this question too, and I totally forgot at the same time with you. So we just the force was with you on forgetting this question.
We kind of talked about it. Me and Paul's on our show that it's sometimes when a question comes up and you like start doubting if it's an easy question. Like, is that really the answer? Because it's an easy question. Is that really what they're asking? Because
yeah, that's kind of exactly what happened. I should have. I mean, afterwards, I talked to Chandra, and he was like, "It was a 2-pointer, remember?" And I was like, "Yeah, I know. I didn't remember. I was going in. I was going deep.
Or something.
I was like searching in my brain for something so obscure, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm an idiot."
Are you like low key glad that you were able to focus as much as you have been on the Star Wars League rather than the IG League? You know, prepping for this tournament, for the IG tournament.
You mean like just narrow it down to Star Wars, or?
Yes, I mean just the IG tournament. I would say I don't believe you were in the IG tournament, right?
No.
Yeah. So with obviously you being able to really hyper focus on Star Wars, were you glad you had that opportunity to do that, or do you kind of low key feel like you kind of wish you have been able to study for both?
No, I'm so glad I was able to jump on Star Wars and just focus on that, and just honestly make sure I get a win and redeem myself. Just one win is all I wanted.
Here we are.
I know. Here we are. Who knew? But yeah, my focus being on Star Wars, I took it as like, this is an opportunity. I'm going to take this all the way. I'm doing literally my favorite franchise, my life. Again, Jedi Council, but that's just an example of how passionate I am about Star Wars. So I was like, I can do this. I can go all the way.
Did you tell, in that case, did you request to Winston to not be put in the IG tournament?
No, because they were going on at the same time. So what Winston had to do was pick. Yeah, so he had to pick who from his faction was going to do the IG, and while simultaneously who was going to do Star Wars. So he had to pick 1 player for Star Wars and 2 for IG. So he picked me for Star Wars and then Paul and Adam for IG.
Oh, so they can't overlap at all, really?
No.
Got it. I did.
They were going on at the same time. Yeah, we were recording them.
Okay, that makes sense. Absolutely.
So.
Well, let's just get past this question for Ace. We don't.
We can fast forward this.
We
can skip it.
Look at those hawk brow situations. You're just like
focus.
You're like,
no, that's me mad. Yeah, I was mad.
Here you go. What location in the original trilogy prompted C-3PO to remark, "I told you it was dangerous here"?
Endor.
That is correct for 3 points. So Andres takes the lead. And
was Endor in your head early in that, and you were just like quadruple checking, or?
Well, I was replaying the movie in my mind because it's a quote, right? So it's a quote about a planet. So I have to make sure who says the quote. C-3PO says it. When does he say in the original trilogy? What planet is he talking about? So I kind of go step by step, open the folders.
Yeah.
There's so much to know. It's crazy to me. Eric has asked a question regarding that one. Can you pause it for a hot second, Dylan?
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Recognize it.
Before we dive into the other one. Ace's 5-round 2-pointer should have been challenged. He said Endor, but it is the forest moon of Endor. Dimelanta should have use it or lose it. Maybe it gets overturned. Do you feel like that might have been the case? I mean, to me, it's like tomato. I mean, there's
no, because if we want to get into that argument, then look at Rise of Skywalker, right? What is that? It's the ocean moon of Endor. However, you don't call it the ocean moon of Endor. You call it Kef Bir. So if they ask me what planet does Rey and Kylo Ren battle in on the Rise of Skywalker, I'm not going to say the ocean moon of Endor. I'm going to say Kef Bir because that's the official name given. Endor, technically correct, is not the planet that it's on, but it's commonly referred to as Endor, not the forest moon of Endor. It's an actual location. So when people say, what location did you see at the end of Rise of Skywalker where Wicket and his son Pommet are at, you're not going to say the forest moon of Endor. You're going to say it's Endor. Yeah. So, yeah, no. That's real nitpicky if you start to do that.
I think that there's been enough. Yeah, there's been enough precedence before, even with like movie, video games, whatever, that it just strictly says Endor as a planetary setting. And never gets
it does.
That specific. So.
I do think, again, people are just looking for those hyper-specific challenges, any way to get ahead. And so it makes sense. I mean, if I were your competitor, I would consider it. But I would be saying to him, like, obviously he knows what it is. And so
if he did,
I wouldn't be very confident going into it, since it is just like, obviously he knows it. I mean, it is.
He would have lost, if I'm being honest. Like, again, I know enough about Star Wars to know that that's Endor. Again, you can call it the forest moon of Endor, but it's still Endor.
Yeah. I think I'm reading his comments. I think he actually meant it more like you challenge it because they called it a planet and not a moon.
Oh, for possibly you to challenge.
That what moon is it?
Challenge the question.
That's just what Eric clarified in the chat.
Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, but again, you can. It's so commonly referred to as that it's just automatic. It's like saying Falcon, Millennium Falcon. Same thing. It's just one of those things in Star Wars universe that people call it Endor. It's Endor.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, if you want to go through each moon of Endor, I can, but that's a different story.
That's every chance to get those extra points. But why would you challenge a question that you already have
the answer?
Yeah. Right. I mean, if you're lucky.
Yeah. I mean, why would you want another question where you don't? If you don't know if you would know the answer, so it's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, Eric, great question as far as asking that, because again, this is a league of entirely big specifics and being so paper thin on being what's correct and what's not correct. So I mean, I don't blame you for asking, just for getting that insight behind the scenes on it, though. But yeah, there's your clarification, man. Appreciate the question.
Yeah, thank you.
Because of his new red arm.
Christian, Andrew Dimelanta is back on top.
All right, so this is what This is where we stand.
When he says that, I'm like, yep. He's like, this is it. And I'm like, I know it is.
Thanks for reminding me.
And both of you guys are just like mirroring each other. Look at that body language.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he's thinking, miss it.
Category 13. It's the Phantom Menace. Okay.
How stoked are you for that?
What was the name?
Pretty stoked, actually.
Control ship destroyed by Anakin.
Same with the question. As soon as he asked it, I was like, oh, great. I love this.
On Pala.
For 5 points. Ace fighting to the very end here. 36-32. Andrew's going to have to hit his 5 in order to win, but he can still get himself some big points here and potentially break some records.
So I'll go ahead and ask ahead of time, which I'm sure is a pretty common question for everybody. But do you know Andrew's question whenever it gets asked?
11 he chose.
His 5er?
That's right. Category.
No, Christian asked me afterwards. I said no. I didn't. After it was said, I did. I remembered it.
Right.
But currently, as I was being asked, no, I didn't know it. Yeah. Yeah, it's another one I blanked on, but
yeah,
I thought he knew it.
Yeah, that was my question to be like, did you think he was pausing? Did you think he knew it and he was just like waiting, or did you think he was... I thought so too.
I thought he was gonna just milk it.
Yeah.
If it was almost any other player, I might give you that, but I don't feel like Andrew's like, no, I want out. I want to be winning and be done. Okay.
Yeah, I do know a lot of people in the chat. Everyone was talking about how he was milking it. He's pulling a face in,
right? Yeah,
like that. And
I thought so.
Yeah, to me, I'm like that. He doesn't seem like that kind of competitor.
If
he's already on edge.
Yeah.
Clearly, you both are. Right.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to think that he could forget it right after he remembers it, right? Like,
yeah.
It's in his head. He's just like, no, let's move forward.
New number 1.
Yeah, I thought he knew it the whole time, and he was just,
18.
waiting for it because he wanted to bathe in it.
Bro, my hairline goes back thinking about that. Just being in your position, thinking he knows that. Like, get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, that was my expectation. Was like, this guy is not gonna miss anything. So, which is why my shock was so genuine.
And the win. What is the name of the droid that can be seen torturing a gonk droid in Return of the Jedi?
Is that just your genuine, like, you say, like, damn it to yourself, but it's like, is that you saying you don't know it, or like?
That's me saying he knows it.
Okay. Yeah.
That's me saying, oh, he got it, easy.
Question.
Second one.
Yeah, I remember when I was watching this, I was like, that's so ambiguous, Ace. I don't know what you mean by that. Let me know.
No, that's me. I think someone asked me afterwards, and I was like, yeah, that's me saying, oh, he got it, easy. And that's me looking away from the screen because I don't want to see it.
5, 4,
oh gosh,
3, 2, 1. And your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Andres Ace.
Oh my god!
And it's the best part.
Oh my god!
And
all right, I want to hold it right there.
Over.
not to keep my boy Andrew down. I love Andrew Dimelanta on the show. I love all you guys are great. But like, this picture right here simulates just all of the emotion in the world, right? Like, Winston, you are just, and then Andres, you're just on cloud 9, all the way across. Man, I mean, you've got to always ask. Like, obviously, it's you talked about it in the post game interview, some like how it feels after, but just looking at it again and going back on the review, where are you at on that?
As far as the moment itself, or the question?
No, the moment.
Shock. I was shocked. I really did feel like he knew it, and I felt like, man, this guy is not going to miss. He probably knows droids in and out. This is probably easy to him. So when he waved his hand and went like, nope, don't know it, that was me like, what? I can't believe I just did that. Again, it goes back to the 5-pointer, man, and why 5-pointers are so important. I'm going to throw shade at certain people who have been throwing shade at me, but there's a lot of people being like, well, he answered more correctly, therefore he's the real winner. That's not how the Schmoedown works. There's something called 5-pointers that are supposed to show a little bit deeper level of knowledge. That's why it's worth 5 points. all credit to Dimelanta. He's incredible. He's probably one of the best, if not the best, in that tournament. But I knew the 5-pointer. He didn't. That's just how it goes.
And also, guys, that are anyone that's might be criticizing that moment, don't be a dick.
Yeah.
At the end, I think we can apply this, to not only, reactors and Schmoedown, but as a whole in social media right now more than ever. Don't be a dick. Don't be that person. This is not specific to a guy or girl or any like one individual, but it's just in general. I mean, come on.
Yeah. But I had to make sure people know, like, hey guys, like, I love Andrew, but I knew my 5. He didn't. That's
right.
Yeah.
Like, that's a victory. That's not a like, skating by or me just,
it wasn't luck.
getting it wasn't luck. It was me having that deeper knowledge at that last question.
Yep.
And again, if it was another question, maybe I would have missed it and maybe he would have gotten it right. That's the whole 5-pointer effect. That's what Alex said after the match, where he's like, hey, 5-pointers are a toss-up. I could know it. I could not know it. He could know it. He could not know it. So that's why it always goes like that. So
right.
Yeah. Nervous.
Man, I got really exhausted watching that match, and I wasn't even performing it.
I just remember screaming in my house. I really did. I was on the couch watching on my tablet, and I literally screamed. Oh, we're taking off camera. I literally screamed, and I was like, "He did it!"
Yeah.
I looked at the time. He wasn't watching it live, I don't think, at the moment, and so he was like, "What?" and he's like, "Oh, damn it!" He's like, he just kind of ruined it for me a little bit because he hadn't seen it yet fully. So I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And so it was just having that moment. Going into, after finishing this up, are you by yourself in your apartment, your house, that kind of thing? Were you surrounded by like friends or family, anyone in the house to kind of celebrate the rest of the evening with?
Yeah, I'm with my family right now during quarantine. Obviously, I'm gonna head back to LA eventually, back with my roommate and chill there. But for now, I'm with my family, and it's been fun. It's interesting seeing them who has no reference. They don't really know about the Schmoedown too much. Seeing their reaction to this whole thing, and honestly, them being front row for my studying. And me ignoring them completely for a month and a half, and just rewatching Star Wars over and over and taking as many notes as I possibly could. So they've seen the work pay off because they can actually see me taking notes in the back and doing all this stuff. So it was great to share that with them. Obviously, my mother's birthday was during the Laura Kelly match, literally the same day. So I got to give her that little birthday thing. But to her, my mom is the most hyper competitive person on the planet. So as soon as I told my mom I'm doing a Star Wars trivia thing, she's like, "You better win."
She didn't like not so much criticize you, but she was just like, "This is like something you're focusing on. This is something you're doing all this for your time, like this little trivia match." That I know if I had said that to some of my family, they would have been like, priority.
Yeah.
Get yourself together. Like, why are you doing this? Even though they are hyper competitive, but I'm really jealous that you had that kind of support right away.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about, right? Because I thought the same thing as soon as I told her. I was like, she's gonna scoff at me and be like, "You're wasting your time with Star Wars again." But it was the opposite. It was me getting that kind of tough love that I've always gotten when I was a swimmer, which is like, you better freaking win, and you better not miss. So that's what she told me, and I won the whole thing, which is crazy to me because again, it was week by week or every other week, I guess, doing all 4 matches and having different results in each one as far as how big of a win I got versus how good of a performance I had. And improving. My thing was improvement. My thing was making sure I improved in every match. Where my first match, I might have missed a few. I'll make sure I won't in the second match, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
Did your family help out with note cards or anything like that? It was all you. So going into it, so whenever they would watch it, would they celebrate with you and everything afterward and be like, hey, cheers, let's all like have a beer or something like that now? Or was it like since they like if they like saw how many viewers you had or something?
Not really. My parents are like focused on like other things, like their work and their job and family stuff, if I'm being honest. Like personal stuff that, you know, health issues with different family members, which has been going on over the past few months for my family close to me. So they're focused on that. It's more like, hey, good job. And that's it. But yeah, my training was all me by myself. In my own time, in my alone time, and Chandru and Winston, when they had time, they would kind of stop by every week, maybe once a week, and help me train a little bit. But definitely not anyone I don't have a significant other to help me. Fingers crossed in the future I will, but for now, it's just me. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Schmoedown is no stranger to like Schmoedown couples, you know, I'm just saying.
There you go. You never know.
It's 100%
anyone out there
now. So,
yeah.
Somebody mentioned earlier, just like having like a screenshot or something of your face on like the front page of Twitch, and I'm like, oh man, if you're single, what a Tinder profile account right there, right?
Yeah.
11,000 people.
Movie trivia, Star Wars trivia. Was really gonna get the girls going.
Hey man,
you know, the right girls going.
Okay, it really does.
Yeah.
Yeah, podcast dominated by females. Trust me, they're out there.
Oh, there you go. I see none.
Well, quickly gonna go before we kind of like break things off and everything. Sure. I just want to pull up the stats real quickly. Thank you to Megs, by the way, for being so amazing and doing this for us. So essentially just kind of go over your accuracy ratings overall. So you are at a overall accuracy ratings with 3635, obviously. You are technically, it's so weird of me to say you're technically below accuracy against Dimelanta, but it's like 5.4%. So it's so minuscule. But you're between like the different points values and everything is very different. But you know, between not only doing great in the first round, you know, overall, now looking at these kind of stats, how are you kind of feeling over, you know, accuracy ratings or something you're kind of looking to reach to? Do you have a goal or anything your kind of big takeaways looking at these numbers?
I don't know. I've never really thought about it, if I'm being honest. Obviously, I want to be perfect every match. It's not like that. But I definitely consider, I don't know. To me, there's something about the third round, right? And if there's anything that I've proved in this tournament is that third round means a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Where there's a conversation to be had about how wide your knowledge is versus how deep your knowledge is. Right. Versus I know, and I'm telling you guys, I know some gnarly stuff when it comes to deep cut stuff, like numbers that I don't think anyone knows. And I try to relate that and focus on that versus knowing every single planet, every single alien in the entire Star Wars universe. Because to me, that third round means a lot. So I made sure and said, hey, this guy can maybe name more planets than me, but I can name deeper cut trivia than him, or any of my opponents. So my mentality was always looking towards that and making sure I'm ready for numbers, frankly, because I think I know every Star Wars number. I don't know if I'm missing one, to be honest, because I memorized a lot of like numbers that are just don't even have anything to do in the movie. And droids as well. Droids and ships. Give me ships.
That's so weird to me. Between I remember watching the Star Trek exhibition match with like Cybold and a bunch of awesome people are a part of. After watching that, I feel like I feel bad. I've mentioned I've gone to 5 different arguments so far in the stream. But I was actually in another discussion with someone who was saying Star Trek should never have its own division or league because it doesn't have enough movies or information. And I'm like, one, it technically has more movies, technically speaking, but they have a lot of very similar categories.
Yeah.
There's so much specific details. So, but there's like there are categories, like you said, of like ships and codes and numbers, and droids is its own category as well.
Yeah, no, Star Trek goes super deep. I would love to see a Star Trek tournament or something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. I'm wearing a Star Trek shirt right now.
Another belt you could win.
We don't need a horror division. We need a Star Trek division. Let's make that happen.
Why not both?
Why not both? Is there a league in particular that you would love to see added to Schmoedown?
Someone mentioned the MCU league, and I thought that sounds so cool. There's plenty of movies. There's plenty of deep cuts. There's a lot to get into when it comes to MCU. I think that'd be really cool. And then there's one more that's just me being selfish, but I said it on my first cut stream. If they do a young adults division,
oh yes,
yeah,
give me those young adult movies that I've seen like 20 times, like every single one of them, the good, the bad. I've seen them all. I love young adult movies. I think they're a lot of fun. So I would, and there's again a lot of depth to it because they come from books. So there's a lot of knowledge to be had when it comes to those kind of movies. I would love to do that. I think I'd be good at that.
Yeah, that was probably one of the only categories I would feel somewhat confident about.
Yeah.
And like coming of age, they overlap significantly, obviously, but
yeah, but young adults always adds this like post-apocalyptic, sci-fi, something like that.
Right? Like Hunger Games and stuff like that in there. Like that's just so much fun.
Yeah, specifically for Hunger Games. If there's a Hunger Games category, that's me.
I'll fight you. Hunger Games. I don't really care personally. I don't really like the Twilight Saga or whatever all that much, but I was surrounded by friends and family that were obsessed. I'm not gonna lie, I did like the books a little bit, but it hit me at the right age where, as a result, I know almost every single detail of those movies. Of all
the Twilight movies?
Yeah, they hit me at the right time too.
The first one came out for me when I was like 17 years old, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember
did you guys
night premiere?
Yeah. Did you guys see my last promo? Where I literally laughed so hard when I was recording it because I was like fire's catching, and I was like, I'm literally quoting Katniss right now. And I was so proud of myself. I was like, Katniss Everdeen, this is for you, Katniss.
Oh wait, sorry, I shouldn't do that on camera. But I was doing the thing. I was doing this. I was doing. Please don't take out of context, please.
I know a lot about Hunger Games, so I would love to do a Hunger Games thing. As far as like, I rewatch the movies every so often. I show it to my family, and they're like, "Tell me about District 10," and I'm like, "Let me tell you, District 10 is," and I'm just going.
Let's talk about the history of District 1. Okay,
Yeah.
let's talk about that's the whole thing. Okay. Yeah.
Have you read a Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes?
I haven't read it yet. Actually, I haven't read the
either.
library.
It came out while I was doing this, so
I'm scared to read it. Like, it's like it's just if you're gonna dive into a character on that level, I love diving into characters like anti-heroes and villains and everything. It's just there's other characters I would want to learn about before him, and they're like, no, let's go with him, and I'm like,
something about Haymitch would have been cool.
Oh my god,
yes.
Or Jenna Malone's character, I forgot her name. I feel awful now. With the
Joanna Mason.
Yes, exactly. Oh
I love Joanna. Literally one of my favorite characters.
Love her. So good.
President Snow was a little weird because I obviously don't like snow.
I'm glad to hear that. If you I did. But then again, I like the villains in most things, but maybe not that. Not that one.
Not that one, no.
In your bedroom, you have like 4 posters of villains.
I like villains, just not that one.
Yeah. We're not political villains right now in our day and age. I think we can take a break from that for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I love everybody in the chat mentioning like their own little one. We got video game divisions, anime division. Give me that all day. Not even animated, just straight anime.
If people do anime, that'd be wild. Because a lot of people have have my my Attack on Titan poster.
Hell yeah, man!
Right there.
What? Okay, would anime divisions? But that wouldn't include TV. Would it?
That's the problem, right? The problem is if it's TV, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Impossible.
It's so hard to streamline because then you're like, okay,
dedicated to Naruto. I mean, like,
there's thousands of episodes to Dragon Ball.
You can do an entire league dedicated to one.
Yeah.
It gets so weird with the movies too, right? Because the movies are based on the shows, so you're just like, well, I feel like I need the background info to answer somehow.
Or the graphic novels, a lot of them.
That's why it's so tough. But yeah, anime is my thing. I used to do a segment back on the Schmoedown show. Shout out to the past. My anime segment where I just talked about anime. And they gave me 5 minutes, and there was a timer where I had to stop.
I could watch that all day, Ace.
Thank you.
Well, if there were going to be an anime league, hypothetically, do you think there should be a slice dedicated to Studio Ghibli movies? Because I've had discussions where, because I'm still not entirely sure if it's technically considered anime or not, and the definition of anime is very blurred to me. And so I'm just like, to me, I remember seeing it. I'm like, anime, but it's not technically, I guess, because of the style of the animation itself. So,
I mean, it's debatable because I can go on. I can write books about this. I have actually done stuff on this. I've talked about it where I talk about what in itself is anime. It's interesting. Emma and I used to do this all the time for fun. We were supposed to do like anime stuff, but yeah, shout out to Emma 5. We would talk about what is at the heart of anime. For example, Avatar: The Last Airbender is always a fun little debate where it's like, is it not anime? Is it anime?
Because it's American.
Yeah, I'm pushing up my glasses. All the ladies out there, anime love. Where it's debatable as far as like if it's spoken in Japanese first, right? The Japanese language is what makes it Japanimation or animation or anime, which is where it stemmed from the word. That's usually the definition of anime. However, anime style has now become so common that something like Avatar, I could consider that anime, or something like what's the Netflix one? I'm so sorry, I'm blanking on it. Castlevania. That's not Jap. Yeah, that's not Japanese. You know. Spoken, but it's anime style, so it's technically anime. It's a Korean studio that animates other animes in Japan.
Right.
Is it anime?
I thought it was an anime like in the 80s or something, and then it was like
a video game.
It's based off a video game property with it. So
yeah, I remember it was a video game, but I thought it was like an anime then a video game. But obviously, I'm making it up. Forget me.
You're all right.
Yeah, it's a long debate. It's interesting, but I feel like a lot of it stems from gatekeeping, which I'm really anti-gatekeeping. Anime is it's just enjoyable, whatever you want to call anime, and just enjoy it for what it is. You don't have to, cancel something that's not correctly anime. So
very fluid definition.
Yeah.
For sure. Someone mentioned the chat. Ryan mentioned Christian mentioned that they would have to add Mandalorian, Clone Wars, and maybe Rebels for next season. Some asked if the Resistance might be added. Would be in that too. So, what are you thinking?
Well,
influx of movies. I mean, sorry, TV.
Yeah, it goes back to the conversation of movie trivia, Schmoedown. Movie trivia, not TV trivia. Just the title itself, that's like a branding thing more than anything else. If I'm being honest, they would have to change the graphics. It takes time. No, but in seriousness, I feel like I think it's fine to keep it with the movies. I feel like there's enough out there. And honestly, there's always that question of like, can you keep this going as far as questions? I have a lot of questions written down that have never been asked before. And I think they range from easy to tough. So yes, there's plenty to go from the Star Wars movies. So I think keep it to the movies is a little bit easier for people who might not watch Resistance, for example, which is not as watched. They can enjoy the movie Trivia Schmoedown because they probably have seen the movies either once or twice.
Are you saying that as a competitor or as a fan?
Both, because I feel like as the Schmoedown, you wanna appeal to people who might not know. Hey, what's up, dude? You want to appeal to people who might not be the deepest cut Star Wars fans. Not everyone is reading the books and the novels and shows and everything. So you want to say, hey, you like Star Wars? And if someone answers, yeah, I've seen it once or twice, watch the Schmoedown. It's a lot of fun. You can play along. You can see how deep their knowledge goes. It's a little bit more accessible. I think it's accessibility is the question.
So it's the way like Christian has like talked about it with the other leagues as well, it sounds like.
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to do trivia questions off of like the Thrawn trilogies or anything like that either.
That'd be hard.
As fun as that would be for somebody who's read the books, me and Kelsey are giddy at the idea. We're like,
I love Thrawn so much. I'd be so excited. Any moment with Thrawn.
Like at the same time, I'm like, good Lord, I can't imagine expanding the study to that level as well either. Because there's
oh my gosh,
man, what a ride that would be.
I do want to mention real quickly. Tim Franco, congratulations on getting the singles tourney, by the way. Just I know you're getting the singles tournament, so excited for you. It was just announced today, I believe, or yesterday. So that's pretty amazing.
Tim Franco, I'm double excited. You're on my fantasy roster as well. Crush it, buddy. Go do a great job. I believe in you. Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
So points. Please bring him to me. I'm in last place from that one. I need the points, please.
You guys, we're going to start to wrap up and do our plugs and do all wonderful stuff. We're creeping up on 2 hours, and I want to keep it past up his bedtime. So
it's coming up.
Yep, it's coming up.
Real quickly, we did have a donation through Streamlabs. Thank you so much, PC. Dale Andres, don't give up on your girl is out there. Oh, sorry, don't give up, your girl is out there. Sorry about my grammar. Drip, but also Spurs, baby.
Yeah, I'm not with you on the Spurs, but everything else, fingers crossed.
It's only a matter of time. Schmoedown. It's expanding every day. It's true.
There you go, guys. Kelsey, Alex, you guys want to start with the plugs, and we'll let last but definitely not least in our hearts, Ace, wrap up on all the plugs.
I'll go first. You can find me at KelseyKins90 on Twitter and Instagram. Also on the Call to Action podcast Instagram, so you can interact with me there. TeePublic, we've got merch. I've seen a lot of cool people posting them in our shirts on Twitter, and we appreciate it. Thanks, guys. And I also do my own YouTube channel. It's kind of on a hiatus right now. I don't really know what I'm doing with it, but if you guys got suggestions, I will take them. So just look for my name, Kelsey Kirkland, and subscribe. And that's about it. Thanks, guys.
Alex.
Sorry. So thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. I have no clue. Obviously, I'm the worst.
I was going to correct you, Alex, but I didn't want to.
I'm so sorry, but please correct me in the future. I beg.
I'm going to let Alex read those ones. I'm like, girl, you can mispronounce it. I'm good.
I want people to correct me when I'm wrong because I feel awful. But yes, Dale. How do you pronounce it? Dale. Okay, so thank you so much for bringing that to my attention, Danielle. I appreciate it. So you can find me hosting Schmoebaits every single week on Wednesdays at 9:30 Central. And yesterday, I actually just hosted with co-hosted with Christian Harloff himself, Schmoedown, co-founder. A championship match between Ben the Boss Bateman and William the Beast Bibiani. It was amazing. It was so much fun. It was they really rounded up the Tournament of Champions. So if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It's really great. You can just check out our history, but also you can just find me right there on Twitter. Much appreciated. And you can find me chatting up movies neither Video Drew and I have seen on Cinema Bias on her channel. This upcoming break, we're going to watch her very first movie in the James Bond franchise. She's never seen a James Bond movie. And so we're going to dive into, so pretty much we kind of swap weeks. So it's a movie that I've seen, but she hasn't seen. And we're diving into this movie because she's never seen a single James Bond movie ever at all. So it's
I've seen one, maybe two.
Wow.
I
know. I was going to say, I'm the biggest Bond fan there is.
Stressing me out right now.
I've realized that Bond is a guilty pleasure for me. Like, I don't know why I feel bad about it. It's one of those ones where I think it was just mainstream for like action, and I got on the train really late. But Casino Royale has really put me above and beyond on that one. I always go back to that one. It's just so good.
Skyfall's the one I've seen. I know I've seen that one.
Yeah. You might not, even if you don't like James Bond or anything in general, you'll like Skyfall or Casino.
Here's the thing. I think I'd like James Bond. I've learned that there's a lot of movies I miss. And now that I watch them, like, why did I miss these? Like Goodfellas, I just saw that like 2 weeks ago, and it's now like my third favorite movie ever.
There you go.
So like, I just need. I have gaps. I'm working on it.
For sure. That's what I gotta be. Yeah.
All James Bond banter aside, guys, I'm Dylan Camacho. You can always catch me at CAMACH Octo. There you go, guys. I made it simpler. It was like Camachtopus, just Octopus at the end of my name. And everybody was like, Dylan, I will never type that into Twitter. So, thank you for everybody.
Was that a Bond reference? Camachtopus?
Oh, the potential.
I will never say. I just let everybody who's Bond fans just do all the jokes for me. I get to hold the high ground with that. That's a Star Wars reference, guys. Am I doing it right?
I saw that.
I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway, guys, yeah, I just hang out on Twitter, dude. Whatever. If you'll catch me on the channel whenever I pop on, I come on and hang out with all the great people. Ace, I'll let you do all the plugs on the way out, buddy.
Yeah, my Twitter handle, Squad Leader Ace. That's where you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I tweet about stuff. Catch my UFC and my NBA tweets in the coming weeks now that I'm not doing this Star Wars thing anymore. Yeah, you can find me there. And obviously my YouTube channel, First Cut, where me and my buddy RB3 and Sabrina Ramirez talk movies. We just released an episode today with Joelle Monique. We talked about Black women in film. We talk a lot about the socio-political aspect of film, and it's a lot of fun. So make sure you guys check it out. First Cut, my YouTube channel, and that's where you can find the Meaning of Podcast, which I hope you've heard about.
Yeah, there are some of those links are in the description box below.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, just to give you a heads up. So if you just want to click away through there for it, make it a little bit easier.
Thank you, guys.
Make sure to hit that. Danielle gracefully says, if you want to know more about Ace, go check out our episode of Chilled Action with Ace, where we go even more casual, hang out, talk more. We can't wait to have you back on that. We're trying to do some other weird stuff where we're just doing more casual hangouts. Man, I'd love just to have you on talking anime for like 3 hours straight.
Oh, I would love that, man.
Bro, okay, let us get Twitch figured out, and then we'll call you.
Down. I'm down.
Yeah, but otherwise, guys, that is our show. We just broke down the whole thing with Ace himself. If you like that content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, thumbs up. Everybody's always saying those thumbs. Hit those thumbs. Make sure to hit the bell. Let us know whenever we're putting stuff out there. Otherwise, guys, that's our show. Hopefully you enjoyed. We will catch you next time on whatever the matches we're doing. Kelsey, I think it's Hannah Damon, right?
I don't know if we're doing that one because I don't want to have to stare at Hannah's face the entire time because I might want to punch him.
That's
so
yeah, we can just skip over that one.
It's fine. You guys aren't missing anything. So the next great match, we will catch that one, though. Otherwise, guys, that's our show. Make sure to tune in on all of our great content. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. Peace out, everybody.